Alright, I thought I'd do another video, sort of a continuation of my last video. So if you want to see the first part, go look at the last video. I'll put a link in the description area so you can watch the first video. But this is sort of a continuation because it was so long. From New York City to the coast of Maine, record-breaking high tides, in part fueled by the climate crisis, brought destruction to the U.S. Roads were flooded, infrastructure was destroyed, and historic buildings washed out to sea. This is a horrifying preview of what scientists say will become all the more frequent if humanity continues its refusal to end the era of fossil fuel. In downtown Portland, Maine, the area along the harbor and waterfront piers were inundated with unprecedented flooding. Old Port was underwater in many places, with extensive damage to buildings, business, and infrastructure. So here we're just proving once again that climate change is real and the impact is starting to happen to all of us, whether we own commercial property, houses, we pay infrastructure tax, whatever it is. But here's some more bad news about the fossil fuel industry and some good news. Fossil fuel speculators and the U.S. Republican Party, and not consumers, will win big from LNG exports here in the U.S. A new report in the U.S. revealed that fossil fuel speculators and the Republican Party would be the main beneficiaries from 8 proposed LNG projects down in Texas. This is breaking news that just came out. Biden administration is delaying a decision on these 8 LNG projects, is quickly gaining momentum right now here in the U.S. No amount of misleading energy industry lobbies can undo the simple reality that LNG exports in the U.S. hurts consumers, and that consumers will pay more in the long run while the U.S. LNG and gas winds up in Beijing and Berlin. So we export all this LNG gas to China and Europe. And what do we get out of it? We get climate change, destroyed infrastructure, buildings washing out to sea, and heat waves, fires, and all the destruction that we get. Well, they make tons of money and don't worry about what happens to the rest of us. So surveys have been taken, and it finds out that U.S. voters, a large margin, do not want LNG exported out of the U.S. Let's look at this chart. If I just stay close to you, come back to me. Here is the completion of this video series, Global Sea Level Rise, and what's happening with it, and who's contributing to it, and who's the ones that are going to take the brunt of the bad news on these LNG exports if Biden decides to go ahead after the election and approve these projects, which I suspect he will. But that means that we, the consumer, have to get on him and say, no, we don't want these exports. But it's up to us to tell these people. Maybe you can call Congress and tell them we would rather not have these LNG exports going on, or the building of these LNG plants. There'll be 8 new projects, which will be the biggest LNG plants in the U.S. Will destroy more land and more wetlands around the ocean. In fact, these LNG plants are so low that they will be building an 8-foot tall cement wall all the way around these plants to keep the seawater out once sea level rise begins in earnest around the tip of Texas where these plants are proposed to be built. I appreciate any comments on this. What do you guys think? It's a beautiful day here in California, warm and not very sunny, kind of overcast, but the clouds are keeping the heat in. So this will be the second day that we've had warm weather. Yesterday, the naked guys were out on the streets, and people were out in tank tops and shorts enjoying the summer weather. Any ups, any new subscribers would be appreciated. And until next time.